Michael Carter's days passed in a monotonous routine. He worked as a photo editor at a travel magazine based in downtown New York City. This job was both a responsibility and an escape from reality for him. His desk was cluttered with travel magazines and photos from around the world, a small sanctuary where he found solace. Every morning, Michael would wake up promptly at 7 a.m., put on his faded blue shirt and gray slacks, and step into his comfortable but slightly worn-out shoes. At exactly 8 a.m., he would leave his apartment, buy a steaming cup of black coffee, and take the subway to his office. The passengers on the subway always seemed rushed, and Michael would quietly observe them, imagining their stories. Upon arriving at the office, he would settle into his spot and begin his workday. In the magazine office, Michael was an inconspicuous figure. He was responsible for reviewing and editing the photos submitted by photographers from all over the world, selecting the most beautiful and representative ones for publication. Although he had never visited those places himself, each photo would stir his imagination. He fantasized about standing on top of a glacier, diving deep into the ocean to swim with fish, and trekking through tropical rainforests in search of hidden treasures. Every time these fantasies occurred, his eyes would momentarily light up, but reality's dullness would soon dim that spark. Sarah Thompson, Michael's colleague and longtime crush, had golden curls and bright blue eyes. Her constant smile brought warmth to everyone around her. She worked as an editor at the magazine and often collaborated with Michael on projects. Whenever Sarah walked past Michael's desk, his heart would race, but he never mustered the courage to confess his feelings to her. One day, Michael was reviewing a set of photos from Iceland. It was a stunning aurora night, with vivid green lights dancing across the sky. He couldn't help but fall into another daydream. He imagined himself standing on a frigid glacier, under a sky filled with stars and auroras, with the cold wind howling around him. He felt an unprecedented sense of freedom and excitement, as if he were truly in that mystical place. "Mike, are you okay?" Sarah's voice jolted him out of his reverie. "Oh, Sarah, sorry, I just zoned out for a moment," Michael replied with an embarrassed smile. "It's okay. I just wanted to check if these photo captions are correct." Sarah handed him a few photos. "Sure, I'll get right on it," Michael said, lowering his head to continue working. But his thoughts remained scattered for a long time. To outsiders, Michael's life seemed unremarkable, but his inner world was filled with endless adventure and passion. He yearned to one day leave his small office and personally experience those beautiful landscapes and thrilling adventures. However, his deep-seated fears and insecurities kept him from taking that step. Every evening, Michael would return to his apartment alone and turn on the TV. But nothing truly captured his interest. He would sit on the couch, flipping through those magazines, imagining himself as the adventurer on the cover, exploring the unknown world. His cat Luna would curl up on his lap, purring softly, as if to soothe his restless heart. One ordinary morning, Michael arrived at the office right on time, just as he did every day. His desk was already piled high with newly arrived photos. He was fully engrossed in reviewing these works when suddenly, his boss, Emily Harper, appeared beside him. "Mike, can you come to my office for a moment?" Emily's tone carried a hint of urgency. Feeling a bit puzzled, Michael followed Emily into her office. Emily's desk was cluttered with a stack of documents and several photos. She gestured for Michael to take a seat. "We've just received a major project," Emily began directly. "Headquarters has decided to find an extraordinary photo for the next issue's cover. We need a photo that embodies the spirit of our magazine, a piece that will captivate our readers at first glance. This is the highlight of our upcoming issue, and it's crucial. Michael nodded, feeling a stir of excitement within him. Headquarters provided some leads. Emily continued, handing Michael a few photos. The pictures showcased breathtaking sceneries from around the world, majestic glaciers, desolate deserts, mysterious jungles, and bustling cityscapes. These photos are from a mysterious photographer whose works have never been published before. We have an exclusive authorization from him. The problem is, these are his past works. We need to find his latest photo, which is said to perfectly capture the harmony between humanity and nature. Michael examined the photos carefully. Each one was filled with unique charm and deep emotion, and he couldn't help but admire the photographer's exceptional talent. "Emily, this task sounds incredibly daunting," Michael said, a bit worried. "How are we supposed to find this photo?" Emily smiled slightly. "That's where you come in, Mike. You are our best photo editor, with an extraordinary eye for detail. Headquarters has decided to send you around the world to find this photo." Michael was stunned. He had never imagined he would have such an opportunity to personally experience the beautiful landscapes he had only seen in photos. He felt both excited and nervous. "But I've never been on such a long trip," Michael hesitated. "I'm just an editor. I'm not sure I can handle this task." Emily looked at him firmly. "I believe you can, Mike. This is not just a mission to find a photo. It's also an opportunity for you to discover yourself and push your limits. You won't face these challenges alone. The magazine will fully support you." Michael took a deep breath. He knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the adventure he had always dreamed of. Finally, he mustered the courage and nodded. "Okay, I'm willing to take on this task." That evening, Michael began packing his bags at home, while his cat Luna curiously watched him. Michael's heart was filled with both anticipation and anxiety. He didn't know what this journey would bring, but he knew it was his chance to change his life. Early the next morning, Michael entrusted Luna to a friend for care, said goodbye to his colleagues and friends, and set off on his journey to find the mysterious photo. His first stop was Iceland, a country known for its spectacular natural scenery. As the plane landed at Reykjavik Airport, Michael felt a chilly breeze mixed with the faint scent of the sea. Standing at the airport's exit, he looked at the distant glaciers and mountains, feeling a sense of freedom he had never experienced before. Michael's first stop was Iceland, a country renowned for its breathtaking natural landscapes. As the plane landed at Reykjavik Airport, Michael felt a chilly breeze mixed with the faint scent of the ocean. Standing at the airport's exit, he gazed at the distant glaciers and mountains, feeling a sense of freedom he had never experienced before. He rented a jeep and began his journey toward the southern part of Iceland, where the spectacular glaciers he had seen in photographs awaited. Along the way, he passed numerous beautiful waterfalls and vast grasslands, each vista leaving him in awe. When he finally reached the glacier, the sight took his breath away. The crystalline ice glistened in the sunlight, like masterpieces crafted by nature. Near the glacier, Michael met a local guide named Bjorn. Bjorn enthusiastically guided him across the glacier, sharing the stories and legends behind these majestic ice formations. Under Bjorn's guidance, Michael captured many stunning photos, feeling as if he had truly become an adventurer. After leaving Iceland, Michael's next destination was the Himalayas. He flew to Nepal, embarking on a challenging yet exhilarating journey. The mountain climate was unpredictable, and Michael had to endure cold and low oxygen levels. He joined a climbing team, led by an experienced mountaineer named Ravi. During the climb, Michael faced both physical and mental challenges. The steep paths and extreme weather conditions made him consider giving up several times. but he always remembered Sarah's encouragement. Through video calls, Sarah urged him to persevere, reminding him that this journey was not just about finding a photo, but about self-discovery. When Michael finally stood on a high peak, looking down at the world below, he felt a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment he had never known. In that moment, he realized he was braver and stronger than he had ever imagined. Descending from the Himalayas, Michael traveled to the Amazon rainforest. There he met a passionate ecologist named Anna. Anna led a team dedicated to protecting and studying the rainforest's flora and fauna. With her help, Michael ventured deep into the heart of the jungle, experiencing a primitive and mysterious journey. The rainforest's environment was incredibly harsh. The humid heat and unknown creatures made Michael uneasy. But under Anna's guidance, he gradually learned how to live in harmony with nature. Michael photographed many rare plants and animals, and through this process, he felt the power and beauty of nature. Michael's final stop was the Sahara Desert. The vast desert stretched endlessly, with scorching days and freezing nights creating a stark contrast. Here, Michael met a Bedouin named Hassan, who warmly welcomed him and guided him through the desert. In the desert, Michael learned how to find water and navigate through sandstorms. Hassan shared many tales and legends of the desert, deepening Michael's understanding of this harsh yet beautiful environment. At night, Michael would gaze at the star-filled sky, feeling a profound sense of peace and solitude, a solitude that also made him stronger. Throughout every challenge and hardship, Sarah's encouragement remained Michael's driving force. They kept in touch through video calls, with Sarah's smile and kind words providing immense warmth. Michael's global journey not only showed him the world's beauty and wonders, but also revealed his inner strength and courage. During Michael's global journey, the first major challenge he encountered was the language barrier. Despite his preparations, he found that the difference in language were far more complex than he had imagined. In Iceland, Michael often miscommunicated with his guide, Bjorn. One time, while they were exploring the glacier, Bjorn tried to warn Michael about a thin ice patch, but Michael misunderstood and almost fell into a crevasse. Fortunately, Bjorn grabbed him just in time. This experience made Michael realize the importance of understanding the local language and motivated him to better learn and adapt to local expressions. In the Himalayas of Nepal, Michael faced even more complex language challenges. While Ravi spoke some English, many locals only spoke Nepali. During the climb, Michael had to rely on simple gestures and facial expressions to communicate with his teammates. One day, a sudden snowstorm hit, and Michael needed to quickly find shelter. In that critical moment, he learned to convey messages non-verbally and successfully helped his team find safety. Harsh weather was an inevitable difficulty during Michael's journey. In the Amazon rainforest, he faced unprecedented heat and torrential rain. One night, a fierce storm hit their camp. Pouring rain turned the camp into a muddy swamp. Michael and Anna's team had to relocate their camp in the dark. Exhausted, Michael drew strength from Anna's determination and managed to complete the task. In the Sahara Desert, Michael faced extreme dryness and heat. The scorching days made it nearly impossible to breathe, while the cold nights made sleep difficult. Once they got lost in the desert. The sun blazed high in the sky, and the heat waves made them dizzy. Hassan used his extensive desert survival experience to guide Michael, teaching him how to find direction and water in the desert. From this experience, Michael learned how to stay calm and rational in extreme environments. Cultural conflicts were another major challenge on Michael's journey. In Nepal, he found that local customs were vastly different from what he was used to. Once, he accidentally walked into a religious ceremony in a small village. Unfamiliar with local customs, his actions were seen as offensive by the villagers. Ravi quickly explained Michael's unintentional mistake, and the villagers eventually forgave him. This experience deeply taught Michael the importance of respecting and understanding different cultures. In the Amazon rainforest, Michael also encountered cultural conflicts. Anna's team included scientists from various countries, each with different working styles and habits. Michael had to learn how to work and live in a multicultural environment. He discovered that an open mindset and sincere communication could effectively resolve cultural conflicts and build strong friendships. During his journey, Michael made many like-minded friends and shared unforgettable moments with them. In Iceland, he developed a deep friendship with Bjorn, whose enthusiasm and humor made the glacier adventure enjoyable. In Nepal, Ravi became his spiritual mentor, teaching him numerous climbing and survival skills. In the Amazon rainforest, Anna's wisdom and determination deeply moved Michael, and he learned from her how to live in harmony with nature. In the Sahara Desert, Hassan's resilience and optimism inspired Michael, helping him find the strength to move forward in difficult times. At each stage of his journey, Michael continuously overcame his inner fears and gradually discovered his true self. On the glacier in Iceland, he learned how to face sudden dangers with calmness and courage. On the peaks of the Himalayas, he pushed his physical limits and found inner strength. During the storm in the Amazon rainforest, he learned the importance of teamwork, overcoming feelings of loneliness and helplessness. In the long, solitary nights of the Sahara Desert, he found inner peace and resilience. In the early morning of the Sahara Desert, Michael and Hassan woke up early, preparing to continue their journey. The sun had not yet risen, and the desert was silent, with only the soft sound of the breeze brushing against the dunes. They packed their gear and set off towards a place rumored to have a breathtaking view. Hassan told Michael that this might be their final destination. After a few hours, they reached the top of a dune, and Michael was suddenly overwhelmed by the sight before him. The desert, bathed in the golden light of dawn, stretched out endlessly. In the distance, a caravan of camels walked leisurely, and further on the horizon, a shimmering river wound its way through the landscape. In that moment, Michael knew he had found the elusive photograph. He quickly took out his camera, adjusted the settings, and captured the stunning scene. This photograph not only perfectly showcased nature's grandeur, but also conveyed a sense of peace and harmony. He felt an immense satisfaction, realizing that this journey was not just about finding a photo, but about discovering and transcending himself. With the precious photograph in hand, Michael returned to New York. As he walked into the office, his colleagues gathered around him, eagerly asking about his adventures. He handed the photograph to Emily, who, upon seeing it, was filled with awe. "This is the photo we've been searching for, Mike. You did it." Emily's voice was filled with excitement and pride. Michael's colleagues also congratulated him, proud of his courage and determination. For the first time, Michael felt a deep sense of respect and recognition, filling his heart with accomplishment. The day after returning to the office, Michael decided to confess his feelings to Sarah. He was no longer the unnoticed photo editor, but a man who had found himself through global adventures. He knew he had to seize this opportunity to express his true feelings. During lunch break, Michael found Sarah and asked her to join him on the rooftop of the office building. The view from the rooftop was breathtaking, with the New York skyline stretching out in the distance, and a gentle breeze making the moment perfect. "Sarah, there's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time," Michael said, taking a deep breath, his eyes filled with determination. Sarah looked at him curiously. "What is it, Mike?" "I've always liked you," Michael said, summoning all his courage and looking directly into Sarah's eyes. "During my travels, your encouragement and support meant the world to me. I'm no longer just someone who dreams. I've found my courage and direction. I hope we can start a new life together." Sarah was momentarily stunned. Then she smiled warmly. "Mike, I like you too. Your bravery and persistence during your journey deeply moved me. I also hope we can begin a new life together." They smiled at each other, happiness shining in their eyes. Michael and Sarah embarked on a new life together. They explored various corners of New York, traveled together, and shared their dreams and aspirations. Michael received greater recognition at work, with his adventure stories and photographs becoming highly popular in the magazine, sparking discussions among readers. Michael's adventures not only transformed him, but also inspired those around him. His colleagues saw the power of courage and persistence through his stories, prompting them to reflect on their own lives and dreams. Michael and Sarah also participated in more magazine projects together, exploring unknown beautiful landscapes and stories. Michael realized that there are many things in life worth exploring and pursuing, as long as one has the courage to take the first step. His global journey showed him the beauty of the world and helped him find his true self.